So I read this post on the Shade Room this morning, actually, just this morning. And what I was going to do as today's episode, I have shifted the story that I got. I've shifted it. I'm going to do it in the next episode. But this was like, it pinched me. And I was inspired to write an episode about this. So this is what we're going to be doing today. I was on the Shade Room this morning and I read a story, about, sorry, the flash is in my eyes. Gosh, man, I'm gonna have to figure this recording thing out. Help me, universe. Okay, all right. So I read the story on the Shade Room this morning, a couple of hours ago, where some guy was trying to get with a woman he'd never met in person. I believe the message exchange that we saw on Instagram was their conversation about the very first date they would have, at the very first time they would see one another physically. I'm going to read their exchange here because I want those of you who didn't get an opportunity to see it for whatever reason to understand the context of today's episode. So I'm going to go over to the Shade Room on my computer here. Just give me a second. And I'm going to read the exchange. Post was from, I think, a pimp named Thickback. Let me just get real comfortable here. Come on now, we need some back support. Okay, so she's called a pimp named Thickback, and she says, I'm gonna just go ahead and stay single, girl. All right, so this is from the guy. We can Netflix and chill, LOL. Still from the guy. No, but for real, we can chill and watch movies this first time and catch a vibe. Then she didn't reply. So he comes back again another day and he says, no reply. Then she says, sorry, I was working and then did Instacart all the rest of the day. Then she says again, but why not go out and explore? I'm guessing to his suggestion for her to come over to his house. Then he says, it's just I want to meet you in person first before we go out. I mean, I barely know what you look like. You didn't even send me pictures of you. Jesus. Then she says, he's so triggered. Yeah, we can meet in person out somewhere, LOL, because I'm not coming to your place and you're not coming to mine. Then he says, this line is so basic to me. I suggested something and I never asked to come to your place. I have my own and I'm not desperate to have sex with you if that's what you're implying. I just don't go out in Publix with women until I've spent time with them one-on-one. Her response was this: well then, call me a basic bitch. Call me a basic bitch, I guess. But we both aren't comfortable with what we prefer, so let's try and find a compromise. He goes, okay. Jesus Christ. And then she's like, is that an issue? He says, no, just seems like a bit much, don't you think? Jesus, take the wheel. She goes, no, I was just trying to find a way for us to meet in the middle. I felt that was a responsible thing to ask. But for sure, if that's how you feel, that's okay. We both no longer have to worry about it. Have a great rest of your week. Let's get into today's episode.
Does she like me? Was that a date or a hang? Is she single? Wait, what are we? Is it too soon to say I love you? Should I call him now or should I just wait? Maybe I should wait. Wait, should I let her go? Why did he just ghost me like that? Wait, can't we work it out? Is he an F-boy? Is she toxic? We hooked up. Why is he saying we're just friends? Let's face it. Relationships are the best thing when they work and a nightmare when they flop. You're recklessly giddy when Cupid's arrow sticks you in the arse and a nervous, pain-filled wreck when he comes to take his love away. There's hardly anyone who cannot relate to the dizzying highs and debilitating lows of relationships. We are naturally wired for connection, so when that's messed with, it can make us feel crazy. Enter BamBAEzled. On this show, we help you figure out if you are being bamboozled by your bae. That's it. Nothing else, nothing fancy, just a real, raw, honest to heavens, and hopefully helpful take on the best to the worst of relationships and everything on the spectrum in between. No topic is off limits, no situation is too taboo or embarrassing. Give us everything. So, if you're wondering if you're being bamboozled by your bae, don't walk, run here. This is your new home. I am your new bestie, and I've got you. Now, let's figure out if you're being BamBAEzled. My older friends say I'm barely legal, which is a bloody lie. Jay, that's to you. But what isn't a lie is that I remember that there was a time when people just seemed to be organically better quality people. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, just like a higher quality of people. Abby, was I dreaming? Do you not remember that time? There was a time when being a gentleman didn't make you a freaking unicorn. And being a woman was a lot more than having a pair of inflated ass cheeks or just being a baddie. There was more. There was more. It was more. It was more. We were more. Right? Now, though, it feels like maybe over the last decade and a half or so, something has drastically changed. It's almost like there was a shit goblin who put the world to sleep and then took his shit wand and hopped around from place to place, sprinkling shit dust all over humankind. You know, cha la 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 la, shit, you be a shit person, you be a shit person. We all get to be shit people. And then we woke up different, poisoned almost. Now we're in the era where a deep, meaningful, committed, trusting, forward moving, roots sinking relationship or connection between people has been replaced by the expectation, in fact, the assuredness that my man is going to have a side chick, that men will have side chicks. And you have people saying that monogamy is not natural. And then women's liberation has women saying, you know what? Screw these guys. You're going to get a side chick. We're going to get side pieces too. And everybody's cheating on everyone. I love Fireboy. I love Fireboy. If he ever watches this, which is just, I mean, a girl can dream, right? I love Fireboy. Love his music. Listen to everything that he does. There's this song that he has, from I think maybe the latest album, or the one before this one, called Ashawo. No, not be my fault, it is Ashayo. Now all of us it be Ashawo. If I cheat on you, I'm sorry. And if you cheat on me, don't worry. Very good. I love Fireboy. But, as fun as that song is, and it's on such a vibe. I sing it all the time. But there is this need, it seems, that we have, and I don't know who put it in us or where it came from, where people are trying so hard not to care so deeply about things anymore. We're so nonchalant and flippant about everything. And listen, if you know me, the people that know me, they know how liberal a person I am. I'm not a serious person at all, but there are some things that you ought to be serious about. Your essence, who you are, you should be serious about that. Anyways, let's keep going. Making love. And I don't mean thrusting in and out of someone or bouncing on top of someone. No. I mean sex that doesn't just fill you, but it fuels you. It's almost like a searchlight that gets everywhere and touches you everywhere. And you feel this person more than in just your parts. You feel them in your heart. That kind of lovemaking has been replaced with hookup culture. Hey, wanna get down? Yeah, sure, let's do it. And I'm going to say something. This is unpopular opinion. There's going to be many of those on this show, so be prepared. Hookup culture does not serve women as well as we want to pretend that it serves us. It doesn't. We're not designed that way. I know women come for me, come. When you come, I'll hug you. If you scratch me, I'll scratch you back. But I'm telling you, hookup culture, casual sex does not work for women the way it works for men. This has nothing to do with morals and values. This is a biological, scientific fact. You can go and research it. It's not me that said it. You see, when men are pumping and dumping, that does not equate love to them. When a woman receives a man, there are certain hormones that are released inside that woman's brain, and those chemicals, those hormones are designed to make her fall in love. They are designed, forget about love. They are designed to make her connect. The brain's job in the human being is to ensure the propagation of the species. Behind all of this makeup and whatever that we are doing, we are just trying to live on. And your brain is designed in a way that ensures that will happen, which is why one of our biggest, most primal, strongest instincts is self-preservation. And so for a woman, you need to connect with the person that is putting seed into you biologically. No matter how many strides we have made as a species, our biology is our biology. So I'm just saying that, yeah, a lot more women are embracing a freer, more liberal, and in some cases it's actually good because women have been oppressed for a very long time. What I am saying, however, is that hookup culture, it benefits the men a lot more than it benefits the women. Entertainment that is not based on scandal and drama and chaos, and this person slapped this person, and this person cheated on this person, and this person is gay, and this person is not, and this person did that, and this entertainment that I remember when I was a kid. Let me tell you what we used to watch. My dad was so strict. Ugh. My dad controlled the media that we consumed. We weren't even allowed to watch Nigerian films as kids. I'm telling you, which is so ironic that I'm in Nollywood. But we weren't. And whenever he would travel out of the country, my aunt, our babysitter, just allow it, that used to take care of us, we'll wait for him to go when he has gone. Then we'll arrange. She'll go and get Nigerian films. We were so young. She'll go and get Nigerian films. We'll buy suya and then we'll have movie nights. I will quickly return the films before my dad comes back. So one of the things that we were watching, we grew up on things like Beethoven, the movie about the big Saint Bernard dog that owned his family. We grew up on things like Father of the Bride, when it classic Steve Martin. Of course, we grew up on Disney, all the Disneys, everything Disney. So when entertainment inspired and sparked curiosity and made you feel something, now entertainment that is void of buzz is boring. We find it boring because we like violence always, and toxic displays of our humanhood are becoming the norm and becoming the drug that we are addicted to. It just feels like the quality of people, of humanhood, because that's what I'm going to call it, has dwindled. No, there was definitely a time. There was definitely a time where empathy was not on death row and kindness was not its cellmate. There was definitely a time when doing people dirty, hurting and harming other people emotionally or mentally, financially, physically, whatever you want to call it, was not the norm. It wasn't just a thing. But permit me to take a moment and, if you would, come with me and let's talk a little bit about the people who do the hurting. And not from the perspective that you're probably going to expect. Now, I wonder, the state of being that a person has to inhabit or live with, suffer with, I really need, I need a back pillow. No, I need a better office chair. That's actually what I need. Just give me a sec. Yeah. The state of being that a person has to inhabit or has to be in to cause pain and suffering to another human being. And in most cases, to another human being who, excuse me, who is trying their best not to cause pain and suffering to them. Because what causes breakups, what causes heartbreak, what causes relationship drama? One person is hurting the other person. Doesn't it make you wonder how much pain and suffering that person is going through? And because the reason people, emotionally immature people, personality disordered people, all that sort of stuff, toxic people, cause so much hurt is because they're riddled with shame. They're riddled with toxic shame. And shame is something that, I hope we get to talk about a lot on this show. Especially in this country, my country. We have such a terrible relationship with shame. Because shame has been used as the weapon fashioned against us by our parents, by our elders, by teachers, by religious leaders, by institutions, educational institutions. We don't have a good understanding and therefore a good relationship with shame. Most of us are living with toxic shame and we don't even know. And I'm going to take a whole episode to talk about toxic shame. It's not going to be this episode, but I'll tell you this, that people who cause pain to others are riddled with toxic shame. And it is their need to get temporary relief from the barrage and the battering of that toxic shame that causes them to try and happen to another person, because if I can get this tornado out of me and throw it onto someone else, then I will have peace. But you see, the problem is that's not how a virus works. And toxic shame is a virus of pandemic proportions. A virus doesn't leave you once you pass it. It doesn't leave its host once the host passes it on to someone else. That's my theory behind why zombies behave the way they behave. I'm a bit of a nerd. Why can't zombies just kill, maybe pack like 100 people, kill them? Shebi used to eat. Just pack like 100 people, kill them, put them in the freezer, put them in the store, and then just be eating. I'll have a hand today, I'll have a finger tomorrow. Today, maybe I feel like a bit of ear, Like, why can't zombies do that? Why do they, like a zombie that has jumped on someone and is eating the person, another person passes by and they jump and leave that person and run to the... Because the virus in the brain the nature of a virus is that it needs to spread to survive. And you, its host, is not enough for it. The moment a zombie bites someone, does the zombie now go back to being human? No. Does the zombie even have like the pleasure of like, okay, just pity me, let me die. Since I've passed you on to somebody else, let me now die so I can rest. No. The zombie continues zombieing. And it is under the oppression of that virus to continue zombieing until someone chops its head off. The toxic shame virus does not give a shit about you, does not care about you, does not have your best interest at heart, and it won't stop until the virus is killed. So when a person mistreats or manhandles another person and breaks them down, it is their attempt at trying to feed the virus. And the thought is, I don't have to feel this way if I make someone else feel this way. But you find that you still feel that way because you don't change, because you did it to person A and then you're going to jump and do it to person B and you're going to do it to person C and on and on and on and on. Because the only way that you will not feel the pain of that toxic shame virus is if you face the virus. Not face people, you face the virus with it. So I said all of that to say, I honestly believe that the way we are humaning now, from the emotional, we're humaning. When it comes to technology, we're humaning great. We're doing awesome. When it comes to innovation, we are humaning the freak out of. We're just great job, humans. But when it comes to humaning from an emotional perspective, we are missing the freaking plot. And we are writing a story that by the time we get to read it back to ourselves, we're not going to know we're not going to understand. It's like, wait, how did I land here? Because regardless of how time evolves and regardless of how life evolves, there are certain things that stay the same. Human beings were created for connection. It is embedded in our DNA. And the way we are going, trying to mortgage genuine, deep connection for fleeting dalliances and, oh, I hop in his bed, he hops in mine, no commitment, no strings attached, oh, I'm a cool girl, oh, you're a cool dude, oh, that shit is not what we were designed for. And that is why, even though we have more means of connecting now than they did in the past, we have less connection now than they did in the past. We have less understanding of the importance of each other, because we're trying to talk about this clip, the thing that we read. I don't have a hope
of changing hookup culture or dismantling hookup culture. Who am I? But this is my submission. There are so many ways that we have conjured up to cover nonsense. And this is not me judging anybody's choices, because I don't have the right to do that. Nobody has the right to judge my choices, and I won't judge anybody else's. Let me give you an analogy. So if you know anything about editing, this example will make sense to you. And for those of you who don't know anything about editing, I'm going to try and explain it in a way that it will also make sense to you. All right. So when you're editing, you edit your video files and your audio files, like they're separate files. They're not one file, right? For instance, if you've got a video file that is 10 minutes long and you've got an audio file that is 1 minute long, you know that your audio file can only stretch to its own duration. Your audio file cannot stretch past its own duration simply because it has been put under a timeline or a visual timeline that extends past its duration. Am I with you? Are you with me so far? So the fact that your the video timeline is 10 minutes does not matter to the audio file that is 1 minute long. It will only ever stretch to 1 minute long. There's no magic that you're going to do to make that 1 minute file a 10 minute length, 10 minutes in length. Because that singular one file is not going to take you from minute 1 to minute 10 unless you add in another file. So hold on to that analogy. Think of sex as the audio file and think of life and our need for connection. You will never ever escape it. We were created that way. Our need for connection as the video file. It's 10 minutes long. Sex is 1 minute long. Oh, if sex is 1 minute long, God, what do we have to look forward to? Jesus. Come back, Annie. So the audio file is sex. What we are trying to do is we're trying to take this 1 minute audio file, which is sex, because a lot of the things, isn't it funny how many of the offshoots of what is considered tradition, it usually has to do with sex. It usually does. And that tells you how important not sex is, what sex represents, the gateway that sex is, the portal that sex is. So we are treating sex, the 1 minute clip, like we can put it under the timeline or on the timeline with the video that's a 10-minute clip, which is your life, your need for connection, your need for a bond, your need for companionship, your need to be understood and to understand another person. We're taking that and trying to force a 1 minute clip to cover that 10-minute video. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work. What you're going to have is when where the 1 minute audio file, when it presses play, you're going to hear some audio. When that 1 minute runs out, it's done. It's done. And the rest of your video is going to be silent. But we want to hear sound. If you don't take the bold step to first go inwards and figure out what the frig is going on inside there
that makes you run away from connection, makes you screw up connections or relationships, makes you, which I've told you the expo, it is something called toxic shame. Toxic shame is not the same thing as shame on you. Toxic shame is a big bad. In the writing world, the big bad is the big villain, is the big, that's the Thanos of villains. Toxic shame is one of the big bads. Toxic shame is not a small fry, and you put yourself in harm's way if you think, hey, so what? I don't. Toxic shame is not something to be messed with. If you don't go and deal with that toxic shame inside of you, that is not your fault that you have. So many of us, while we were being programmed as kids, we didn't have a choice. We didn't grow up in environments that were enabling and fostered care and encouraged introspection and allowed people to have their opinions and allowed people to have their boundaries and allowed people to develop their own individual identities. Most families are enmeshed families. Whatever mommy does is what everybody does. Whatever daddy does is what everybody does. Nobody has an opinion of their own, and if you try to, you will be put aside. You'll be punished. You won't be spoken to. Love will be withdrawn from you. You'll be given the silent treatment. You will be labeled as bad. And so what did your mind do? Your mind learned that I am bad because I can't get rid of myself. You live or work in a system where, because of the color of your skin, people treat you like you are freaking trash. Do you think that's not going to induce shame? You were picked on as a kid. Look, anything that comes as an affront to your sense of self, and you have no way of fighting back, whether you win or not, but fighting back introduces toxic shame into you. A lot of people's toxic shame comes from being bullied in school, bullied in boarding school, humiliated, made to feel less than human. You people who think that it's a flex to treat people like they are less, you are part of the problem. But not in a way of, this is not you are part of the problem, I'm blaming you. I'm trying to explain that you have become the virus that infected you. You've become the virus that infected you. And so you're going around and infecting others. Listen, people who bring other people down. This seems like it's totally off the point, but it's not. And I'll tell you why. Because there was a part in that message where this guy tried to diss her for having a standard, and he was like, that's pretty basic to me. We all know what basic means. Basic is like, oh, basic is not like the big insult of today, which I just think is just stupid. But so people who bring other people down, you know what? Let's do a visual example. Many of us think the person who brings us down, who condescends to us, who mocks us, who treats us like shit, whatever, they're above us, they're superior. You know that that's not the case, right? You might not know it, but they know it. Look, if you have to bring someone down, look, okay, this pack of Post-its, depending on the position I am in, you can tell how a person feels about themselves genuinely, not what they say, how they genuinely feel about themselves by what they do with people. So this Post-it is people. I am the person that we're trying to figure out how I feel about myself. My genuine belief about my position in life will determine what I do with this. If I am above this pack of Post-its, truly superior in that sense, the movement that I would have with this is this. The movement is this. I will lift it up to my level. So that also tells you that when a person brings you down, it means that they are also down. Sure, you know. They are down there. That's why the movement to you is one of bringing you down. You cannot be below me and lift me up. Also, you cannot be above me and bring me down. I'm already down. So when a person is constantly bringing people down, critical, shaming, mocking, condescending, just know that they might present as superior, but they feel inferior, and they're trying to get people to their level, because misery loves company, but also because we need connection, even if it is in a toxic way. We need people to be where we are, right? And so if you are someone that shames people, it's because you were shamed. If you mock people, you were mocked. If you manipulate people, you were manipulated. And that's why I said it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to go inward and ask yourself, why do I human the way I do? And does it make good, sustainable sense for me to continue doing it this way? Does it give me good results? Now this nigga lost out on someone. Let me tell you why I think she will make at least a reasonable partner for someone. Should I tell you why? Because even in the face of his just absolute rudeness, the ridiculosity, and I know that's not a word, but the ridiculosity of him even suggesting that the very first time that they see each other should be in his house, it indicates so much. Low effort, no effort. So he's not going to leave his own comfort zone. You should come to where he is comfortable. That's a red fucking flag. I'm sorry to all my Christian friends who don't like swearing, and I'm sorry to my family as well, who raised me to be a lady, and ladies don't swear, but I fucking do. It's a red flag. So not only was this guy trying to make zero effort with this lady, he was rude about it. He wasn't considering or caring about her well-being. So you come over to mine's, I get to sit down at home in my dirty boxers doing absolutely nothing. You make the effort to get dressed. You make the effort to look good. You make the effort to come out. You make the effort to come to me. And then what do we now do? You're not even coming to me for me that I made you like this homemade dinner. You're coming to my house to come and Netflix and chill. And then you are going to give me malt and biscuit or what? Oh God, I'm so freaking irritated. We all know what Netflix and chill means. Please, everybody, this is 2020 freaking 4. Netflix and chill means come to my house, let's bone. Because, and let me tell you, that's what, it's not even only men that do, women too do it. Women too, we do it. When the body is scratching and you want to get some of that good, right? You set your house very fine. You spray perfume in it. You put the music on and you turn the lights down low. And you say, oh yeah, we can just watch some Netflix. Or we can just watch a movie. You know what you're doing because you're wearing bomb shorts and you're wearing half bra. And you're watching Netflix. Do you think that guy is thinking about any freaking thing on that TV? You know that you want him to press your breast. And you know that he wants to press your breast too. And the Netflix, the distraction of the media behind, the scenes, it sets the tempo for, how do I explain it? It reduces your alertness about your environment. Do you know that? When things are not competing for your senses are heightened. When music is playing, your eyes are watching something, your ears are taking in information, your eyes are taking in information, your brain is processing all that information. Your other senses are lowered. In the situation where the lights are low, your senses are all being engaged. Let that man put his hand on you and good night, good fight. Let that girl use her leg by mistake and just graze your leg and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it was a mosquito." It's over. He is up and ready to go. So we all know what Netflix and chill means. Not only did this guy not want to make any effort to show this girl that she mattered in any way, he also wanted to chop on top. And then she, with all of that, said, even after that, says, "Oh, listen, let's make a compromise." Listen, guys out there, go and look for that girl. She'll make a good girlfriend for you. She was willing to compromise in the face of all that bullshit. If it was me, I would say, "Uncle." This is the problem with hookup culture. A lot of you, people are going to think I'm just here shouting about sex. This is not about sex. It's about sex, but it's not really about sex. Because this is an example of a plan for hookup that went wrong. If this girl accepted, what would have happened is she would have come over, he would have poured her some soda and maybe ordered some kind of takeaway or whatever, ordered something in, and then he would have gotten into her pants, or at least he would have tried. And then most likely, because the kind of man who is going to make zero effort to actually treat you properly, guess what? He's not going to treat you properly. So what will happen is that after she has slept with him, or after he has tried and she says no, he's going to be like, "Well, screw her." And if he did get to do it, he'll be like, "Well, I screwed her, so on to the next one." That is the problem with hookup culture. I'm not here belly aching about sex. In fact, if some of you are listening to this now, you are shaving your vagina because you are going to go and get a hook. You are going to hook up after this. Some guys, you are listening to this, you are going to, what do guys do? What do guys do with their penises before they have sex? I don't know what guys do with their penises before they have sex. I don't have a penis. But you're doing whatever guys do with their penises before they have sex. And after you finish listening, you're going to be like, "Okay, bitch," and then you're going to go and then you're going to hook up. But let me tell you what the issue with hookup. And go ahead and do it, please. I'm not the one that killed Jesus. I cannot resurrect him. The issue with this is that hookup culture encourages us to be selfish and self-serving. Viciously so. That we see people as tools for our gratification and nothing other than that. We do not see their spirit, we don't see their mind, we don't see their soul, we don't see the value that they bring, we don't see anything. We see them as women are walking holes and men are walking poles. And so hook up culture makes us selfish in the worst kinds of ways. Because all it's about is, I need to get my rocks off. I need to get off. Let me get off when I'm done. Let me get off when I'm done. Let me get off when I'm done. And we're deceiving ourselves into thinking it's okay. Because the girl is like, "I'm not going to be the uncool girl who lays in his bed and wants him to put his arms around me. No, I'm going to get up. I'm going to put my underwear on. I'm the cool girl who does not need love." How is that working out for you? If it was enough to satisfy, why are you still having to go and look for another person? Hookup culture makes us selfish and self-centered. And now I'm going to talk about the bigger issue. You see, the more selfish and self-centered we are or we become, the less empathy and care and consideration that we have for one another. Now, what does that mean in the long run? It means that I can sit down here and look at someone drowning and nothing will push me to do anything about it because, what's my business? Does not serve me. In fact, I will most likely pick up my phone and record the person drowning till they die so that I can be the one to release the story. Self-serving. It means that I can go and cause harm to someone because I don't care about their well-being. And it doesn't matter how what I do affects them, as long as it works for me, I'm good. That is the far-reaching consequence of hookup culture. We are forcing our brains to behave in a way that it's not supposed to behave. And if we continue doing that, we will create a mutation that by the time we are done with ourselves, we won't know where we started from. It is embracing hookup culture that has made us see human beings as disposable items. And so you have a perfectly good wife at home, but you see BamBAEzled, you are followed. You have a perfectly good boyfriend, you see another man with plenty more money, you followed. Because it's not about, there is so little investment. I'm sure my hair is scattered because I'm sweating, I'm hot. There is so little investment of self into our relationships anymore. Everybody is doing like this inside relationship. Nobody wants to put their body inside. Everybody just put your finger and let only the tip. But only the tip does not satisfy. Shibi. And nobody wants to go all in anymore. Go deep in and find someone and take the risk of doing this with that person and saying, you know what, come what may, now me and you, we will figure it out. We will work through it. I will become the kind of person I need to be for you, and you will become the kind of person you need to be for me. But we are doing this thing together. Why should anybody do that anymore? Does it serve me? Does it serve me to do the inner work? Does it serve me to grow? Does it serve me to sacrifice? Does it serve me to compromise? When I can just go and have some 10-minute sex somewhere and I'm good. But let me tell you why you are not good. Because you have a 10-minute video file, which is your life, and you have a 1-minute audio file, which is that sex. It will not cover the entire file. There is so much more enjoyment and sweetness in relationship, good relationships, healthy relationships, than there is in toxic hookup culture. There is so much more to gain. You have been confused into thinking that committing to one person is losing your freedom, is losing the opportunity to taste plenty different food. When you get your food made a la carte, that food is for you, to your specifications. The food is yours. Eat it as you like. In a buffet, you don't have the option of ordering. You pick what is there. Some of it might be good. Some of it might be trash. Or some of it definitely will be trash. And some of it you won't even be able to eat at all. It just doesn't. Your palate just can't take it. But it's faster. It's a little more convenient. It's certainly cheaper. But when you go to a 5-star restaurant, when you go to a Michelin star, a restaurant that has a Michelin star chef cooking for you, you're going to pay out of your ass.
But when you eat that food, when you eat that food, you know you are eating your food. It takes longer. It costs a lot more. But the gain can't compare it to what you get at a buffet. You just can't. And a buffet it's okay for sometimes, but a buffet is not okay for forever. Because you will get tired of not being able to choose what you want.
Here are a list of suggestions. Stop tolerating low effort on both sides. This is not just for the men. This is not just for the women. It's for both of us. Stop tolerating low effort on both sides. This is not about men putting in effort while women just do absolutely nothing and just cruise throughout the whole entire relationship. No. However, boys, men and masculine presenting individuals, right? The kind of woman you will enjoy, because men are always talking about women are not feminine anymore, whatever. The kind of woman that you will enjoy will always take her lead from you. All the time. She will always take her lead from you. Her energy will mirror and multiply your energy. Her effort, her investment will mirror and multiply your investment. Note I said the kind of woman that you guys keep saying you want. The kind of high quality woman. Not every woman. But there is a certain quality of woman. And if that's the kind of woman that you want, she will always take her energetic lead from you. Because men are often complaining about how women don't want to be led. Women are not allowing them to do. Women, when you talk one woman will talk 50. If you want to be a man around a woman, you are the one that is going to make that happen. The masculine energy is a moving energy. The feminine energy is a receiving energy. Right? So if you want a woman to be the kind of woman you want, which is a feminine woman, you are going to have to do the moving. And she will do the receiving. Don't worry, this is not a setup for you just to spend your money, but you're going to spend. It is true that women these days seem to give a lot of pushback to guys, a lot of pushback to men, right? And that pushback, it discourages men. It discourages guys. I know a guy who one time we were talking with him, he's one of my favorite people, and he said, okay, if you want to do like that, then just let me go upstairs and go and put on your makeup on your face. So you will now be the man and I'll be the woman. And immediately he said that, I corrected immediately. My brain reset. Because it is so subtle. Ladies, this is for you. Jumping from your feminine to your masculine, it can happen in the twinkle of an eye. You will not realize it. And if you want a masculine man, you cannot be a masculine woman. You guys will not, you won't gel well because you are not polarized. They are not two opposites. A magnet that is of its kind repels. It is the opposite of it that it attaches to. So if you are masculine and he is masculine, you will repel each other. If you are feminine and he is feminine, you will repel each other. So you must be in your feminine when you are with your man. It doesn't matter. Even if you are a CEO, when you are in your office, right now I'm in my masculine. I'm doing work. So men that complain about women who are not allowing them to be men, even though you are telling the truth, it is still you that will fix it. And how you fix it is by taking the lead from a healthy masculine space, not from a toxic masculine, in a toxic masculine way, a healthy masculine way. And we will talk about the healthy masculine and the healthy feminine in other episodes, because if not, I will be here for 2 hours. Taking the lead does not mean being controlling. It is not synonymous with controlling her, right? Think about it like this. The kind of woman that is gold, right? Gold, 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 that will love you through and through, love you upside down, love you inside out. She's there. But you have to mind her. That's what taking the lead looks like. The woman who will ride for you no matter what. And I'm telling you, if you do not know loyalty until you have met a woman who is in love. A woman who is in love with a man that takes care of her, you will drag that woman to jail. She'll go. For him, I said that a man that takes care of her. I don't advocate for struggle love. So the woman that will ride for you no matter what is out there. There is no penis that is going to outdo your penis. There is no bank account that's going to outdo your bank account. There is no nothing that is going to outdo what you do for her. She is there. She's out there. But you have to mind her. The gold is only valuable to you. Not that it is not valuable. It is only useful to you. You can only enjoy its value if you go and mine it. That gold in the where is gold found? In the rock, in the ground, in the caves, wherever it is of no use to you if you do not go to where it is and peck away at it until you get it out. That is when a woman becomes your safe place, your peace, your progress. That is when you see the real essence of a woman, when she is well taken care of, when she is pursued with passion and respect. The hardest guy, the woman that's the hardest guy, I'm a hard guy, she will melt like butter in your hands. But you have to mind her. And that's what taking the lead means. The entire weight of the relationship is not on you, guys. That is not fair. But if you think about it that way, you will put yourself in a position where you feel like, I have to get my own back because I am the one suffering in this whole situation. Think about it like this. The entire weight of the relationship is not on you, but it is in your hands. This is the weight of the relationship. The whole thing is not on you, but it's in your hands. I'll explain. If you're carrying your relationship like this, and you are a man in the way a man is supposed to be a man, right? You show up for this woman, you care for her, you love her, you love yourself enough to love another person. You carry the weight because you are the one in the lead. You set the tone. You're actually the one in the lead. But you see, the reason that you don't carry the whole weight, even though you carry the weight in your hands, is because that woman, if she is a decent human being, while you are carrying it like this, she is carrying you from here. So she might not be carrying the weight directly, but she is supporting the person that is carrying the weight. So the full weight is not all on you, but it is in your hands. If you drop it, it falls. If you screw it up, it falls. She will hold you up, but you have to be up. And that way, it is a team effort. Relationships, I really hope that one of the things that this show does is it helps people to move away from this rubbish of transaction. You give me sex, I give you money. I give you sex, you give me money. That's not what relationships are supposed to be. Forget all this shit that you're hearing on social media. That is not what it's supposed to be. Juicy pussy is not the only thing that you offer to a man. And money is not the only thing you offer to a woman. Walk away when the person on the other end of the relationship or budding relationship tries to manipulate you into accepting the bare minimum. Walking away does not always mean ending the relationship, even though in some cases, like this case, it definitely does. It means that the state of personhood, that is the state of personhood you are in, meaning how full of yourself you are. And when I talk about that, reference episode 1 for what I mean by being full of yourself. How full of yourself you are puts you in a position where you know your standards. So many of us don't even know what our standards are. So we're just flailing up and down the place. Oh, today I like it, tomorrow I don't like it, today I like it. We don't know what our standards are. Again, that is part of the inner work. That is part of the going inwards to know yourself. So you know what your standards are. And then you know how to communicate your standards, regardless of whether it will have the other person rejecting you or not. If you communicate in a respectful, clear manner what you will accept, what you will not accept, and you let the other person do the same thing, and the person you are trying to communicate like this healthily with is intentionally refusing to accept your standards, that is their right to do. The decision, however, for you to remain or not is yours to make. And if you choose not to remain, that is your right. Just know. Just know. Just know. Just know. No is a word that needs to get way more credit and way more airplay in our lives. No is a word that will save you from so many problems. It will save you from so much shit. There are situations that I have put myself in because I didn't say no. I didn't say no to the person. I didn't say no to the situation. I didn't say no to the opportunity. Say no if it doesn't feel right. If it goes against who you are as a person, forget how it's going to make this other person feel. I know you don't want to hurt this person's feelings. I know you don't want to make them feel like, there's something wrong with them or whatever. And that's why you're like, oh, I'll just do it. Or I'll just say no. Some of us have been robbed of our God-given right to say no. This happened because when we were children, we were conditioned to feel like we were bad or something was wrong with us when we disagreed with our elders, their perspectives, their methods, their points of views, or their ways of being. This consistent erosion of your own natural intuition and the instinct that followed to protect yourself when something didn't feel right has left you out in the open with a target on your back in its open season, and you are ripe for anyone who is looking for people to emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, any other kind of manipulate. Say no. Practice saying no. The more uncomfortable it feels, the more you know, the more work you have to do in here to feel worthy without being agreeable. You don't have to be agreeable to be worthy. You can say no, and you are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of friendship. You are still worthy of having that boyfriend. You are still worthy of having that girlfriend. You are still worthy of that job. You are still worthy, even when you say no. People will test you. Make sure that they don't pass your exam. What I mean is this. We always want to see how far we can go with each other. It's human nature. It's human nature. It doesn't make us bad, doesn't make us good, it makes us human. However, the more you allow, the more you will have to allow as the relationship progresses. This does not include when a person makes an honest mistake about, navigating you, because there is a period of time. In fact, we are learning each other for all time. But the learning, it moves in stages. What you're supposed to have learned 7 years ago You have not learned it. You are still trying to learn it now. This doesn't include the mistakes that happen when a person is trying to learn another person. You guys are both trying to learn each other. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be errors. You're going to forget to call someone, or you're going to forget to text someone. Doesn't mean that this person doesn't care about you because they didn't tell you good night today. Doesn't mean that this person stops loving you because they didn't tell you good morning today. We learn each other as we go along. So it doesn't include that. However, when you have identified clearly, meaning this has happened multiple times, when you identify that a person is daring you to do something about it, daring you to walk away, daring you to say, I'm going to do it. What are you going to do? When a person is daring you to walk away from their bad treatment, walk away from their bad behavior, by insisting on continuing that behavior, even when you have said multiple times, this thing you do hurts me, then make sure that test, the next time they test you, they have to fail. They have to fail that exam with a capital F. Next time, if there is a next time, and they approach you, they will know not to try that shit again if they want to keep you, which is their choice. If they don't want to keep you, they are very free to do whatever the hell they want to do. But if they want to keep you, they know this. If I do this, this woman is out. If I do this, this man is done. So you make sure that once you have identified that a person, this is not just them figuring you out, this is them testing what they have figured out. Give them a big fat freaking F and tell them, not with me. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It was a tough one. It was. I know, but you're still here and I love you for that. Look, we can make being human great again if each one of us determines within ourselves to be decent people. It's not always easy, but it is certainly worth being a part of the solution instead of being a part of the problem. I hope these thoughts today have been somewhat helpful for you. If they have, I would ask that you please share them with anyone that you think would benefit from them. If you have a story and you would like to share your story on this show, anonymously of course, because I insist that these stories remain anonymous. It's essential for people's privacy and to make people feel safe enough to be honest and open. So if you have a story that you want to be featured on this show, please write to me at BamBAEzled@gmail.com. BamBAEzled is spelled BamBAEzled. Come on, Annie. BamBAEzled@gmail.com. It's one Z, not two Z's, just so because I've seen a few people write it out with two Z's. So it's one Z. Send in your stories and we'll use them in the show to help each other get better. Yeah? Okay. If you've got questions, if you've got questions, send them in to the AIM Network 1@gmail.com. The AIM Network is spelled THEAIMNETWORK1@gmail.com. The AIM Network 1@gmail.com. Send in all your questions that you would like answered on the live IG show every Saturday at 7 p.m. It helps when you send the questions beforehand because I can prepare, but also the questions that we answer first and we give priority to are the ones that are written in and sent in beforehand. Even if you don't send your question, doesn't mean that you can't be a part of the show. You can, but we will only take live questions after we have dealt with the questions that were written in and sent in beforehand. Okay, so join me every Saturday. Instagram 7 p.m. The handle is ANEE ICHA. That's Annie Icha on Instagram. Join me there. I'm looking forward to it. I have a favor to ask all of you. If you enjoy this show, if you've been enjoying this show, if you've watched the last few episodes and you find this is something that has been helpful to you and other people, I would like to ask that for those of us who listen to it on their audio platforms, their podcast platforms, like your Apple, Spotify, Google podcasts, excuse me, I would like you to please subscribe, and I would like you to please leave a review as well. It helps the algorithm, it helps the show get out to more people, and if this is helping you, then maybe it can help other people as well. So I would please ask that you subscribe and you write a review. I will read out the reviews that come in when they do, and I would absolutely appreciate it. Thank you. If you watch it on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. It makes the interaction a lot fuller, and I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. I need to say that this show is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have got medical issues, mental health issues, please speak with a professional, okay? This show, what we do here is we have discussions. We have discussions about life experiences, and I give my opinions and you give yours, and we exchange that value, but it is not a substitute for professional medical advice or attention or treatment. All right, are you ready? Sign off with me. In life, we can always do better, or we can do worse. Let us try to find ourselves in the former more than we are in the latter. Stay safe out there in these relationship streets. Make sure that you are not bamboozling or being bamboozled by your day. I will see you again in the next episode. Until then, let love lead you always. Bye for now.